Hey guys, it's Alec Torelli and welcome back to the Hand of the Day. I'm here as a special cross-collaboration series I'm doing with experts in the poker industry, and I'm really excited to announce today's guest, Jaime Staples. You've seen him everywhere on Twitch, on YouTube, producing tons of badass content, and highly encourage you guys to check him out if you haven't already. Jaime Staples. Poker Staples on YouTube and Twitch. He's twitching 5 days a week. He's got the Scoop coming up very shortly. Starting May 8th, he's going to be streaming that 15 days in a row of high quality, intense, high stakes poker action coming your way from him. So definitely check him out. A lot of good poker content. One of the biggest influencers in our industry today. I'm really excited to catch up with him. He has a hand of the day that he's going to share from a tournament he just played in Calgary, Canada online. So come check it out. Jaime Staples, what's up?
Hello, Alec. It's good to hear from you, man. What's up, everyone that I guess subscribes to your channel? How's it
going? And likewise, yeah. Say hey to the fans. I'm excited to do this video. You sent me a cool hand, and this is part of your daily hand replayer. This is a really cool series that I recommend you guys check out. Where Twitch could get a little boring, Jaime's found a very innovative way to make it exciting. You know, he takes 8 hours of content streaming and condenses it into these 10-15 minute videos and only selects the best hands to review. So it's like a 10-minute recap of all the best stuff all in one video. And today's hand of the day comes from that video for April 16th.
All right, here we go.
So walk us through this one. We are in the small blind. We got ace queen folded to us.
So yeah, it folds to us in the small blind, and we decide to raise up the ace queen. There's been a lot of talk back and forth between should we be limping the small blind, should we be raising the small blind. I'm still of the camp that I like raising a lot of my hands in the small blind, and ace queen is obviously a pretty good candidate. So we raise it up, and the big blind, who seems to be a good player, we've played a lot of hands together, calls. We take it to the flop. Now we've seen ace 10 8 flop, which is obviously pretty good for ace queen. There's a lot of straight draw potential, a lot of flush draw potential, so I think we want to bet on the bigger side here. I choose over half pot. Flop is ace 10 8 with two hearts, so we're gonna see a jack 9, we're gonna see a queen 9, we're gonna see a 9 7, we're gonna see all the heart draws, and then we're also gonna see some 10x hands, we're gonna see some 8x hands and stuff like that.
Queen jack for sure too. Double gutter.
Yeah, absolutely. King jack, queen, queen. All those hands are going to continue, I think, if we bet. So we can get a lot of value from our hands. So we bet, and our opponent, I think, elects to call, right? I'm pretty sure we see the turn on this one.
Yeah, we go turn.
Yeah, perfect. And a meaningless 4 of diamonds rolls off from the turn. I think the plan is still just keep betting here. We should very likely have the best hand. So we do elect to bet 192 into 400. I choose to bet just under half pot here because I think a lot of those draws have weakened in value. I'm not sure what you think about that. What do you think, Alec, in terms of the bet sizing on the turn?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, he doesn't have any combo draws on the turn. Like, in other words, the turn didn't give him any more equity with his draws. It's not like a 7 comes off where hands like 9-7 now pick up a pair with their draw as well, or a jack comes off where he can have a pair and a straight draw or whatever it is. So the 4 is definitely like the biggest blank you could have, and definitely you're right, draws do have less equity. That being said, you're still out of position, which is kind of the only case for betting bigger, just because you're forced to play a tough spot in the river out of position. And so that might be one case for betting bigger in this spot, but you definitely have a good point. I mean, half pot is fine, 2/3 pot. It's not going to be a massive range between the bet sizing you're going to choose.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So we bet, and they elect to call, I think, eventually. And we're going to see a very interesting river, the 5 of hearts.
Yeah.
Which is a tough one. So I thought this was an interesting hand because it sort of illustrates a point that I feel like a lot of new players struggle to understand, which is relative hand strength, right? So we still have ace queen, and ace queen is a very strong hand. We have top pair with second kicker.
Blind to blind too.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, the board changes to such that our ace queen is not a super strong hand anymore. We now lose to flushes, and we lose to all of the ace x2 pair hands that they can have here, ace 4, ace 5. We lose to, 10-4, 10-5, 10-8, 8-5, 8-4, 6-7 if they had it and they decided to make a loose call on the turn to float, which I think are all reasonable, especially in a blind versus blind spot. The second part of this is, say we elect to check here. I don't know if we bet or check, actually.
We check.
Think betting makes sense. We check?
Yeah.
Okay, we check. I don't know. I could see betting here. What do you think? Would you bet or check this river?
You could bet. I mean, you got to kind of ask yourself, what hands do you represent by betting? You don't want to over-represent your hand, meaning that every time you bet, it looks like you have a stronger hand than you do, because now your opponent's never going to call you with worse. So you have to ask yourself, am I over-representing my hand? And, it depends on your opponent. A lot of opponents could think here that you missed some sort of straight draw and you're going to bluff with it. They might hero call you with a worse ace. But that's really the only hand they could call with. And if you weigh that against the times that they have, a better hand than that, it might not be too much value in betting. I don't mind. Checking is fine. But like you said, when you check, you're in a tough spot. So walk us through what you were thinking when your opponent finally bet here. He bet pretty big too, which plays a lot into a lot of our decision making.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, looking at this hand, a couple days removed, I think it's close between betting and checking. But you're right. Like, we need to get called by an ace-jack hand, which might have re-raised pre, an ace-9, ace-7, ace-6. We're not really targeting too many hands
Right,
here.
Exactly. We're really closing the gap on the hands that we want to get paid from.
Yeah.
And even those hands might fold. Even ace-deuce might fold,
Absolutely, yeah. And if we break down sort of the hands that we have that are betting for value here, our ace-queen, even though it started as one of the strongest hands in the limit, is no longer one of the strongest hands we're going to bet here. So I think, in hindsight, talking it through with you, I think it makes sense to check.
Right.
And our opponent bets 570, which is a pretty chunky size.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 of the pot. 4/5 the pot. So what does that do, in your opinion, to his range? What types of hands do you put him on with this bet sizing?
Well, I think it's a little bit polarizing. I think that they're going to have the flushes when they bet the size. I think they're going to have a lot of two-pair type hands. I think it discounts a lot of the hands that we can beat, like an ace-jack, an ace-9, an ace-7, ace-6, that might be trying to value on themselves.
Absolutely.
So it sort of makes it so that they either have a very strong hand that we're losing to, or they have a bluff. Part of this river is what sort of hands can they be bluffing with here? And there's not too many. I mean, we're talking queen 9, jack 9. I think we're going to see the broadways fold on the turn, like king, queen,
unless
king,
it's
jack.
queen jack.
Queen jack, yeah.
But
queen
you have
jack,
a queen, so
we do. So basically, a lot of the hands that I think could bluff normally in this spot have a pair and are going to show down. I feel like so. There's not too many combos of hands we beat, and there's a lot of hands they can value bet. So I end up making the pretty tight, but I think correct check fold.
Yeah.
Twitch chat lost it a little bit.
Of course.
They were not too happy with the fold, but in hindsight, I think I like how I played it.
Yeah, especially in a tournament where preserving your chips is so important. In a cash game, a lot of times I find that, especially at the higher levels, people like to be very creative in position in spots like this. They like to defend a lot of their equity. And I find that a lot of players, against certain types of players, against really good thinking players, they will be capable of calling the turn here with a straight draw, knowing that a lot of rivers, they could represent the flush if I check. So against those types of players, I think it's important to have a calling range here, a bluff catching range, just because you know that they're playing on a different level. Most players just aren't capable of that, and they're going to play their hands pretty straightforward. They're going to fold their equity when it diminishes on the turn, when they only have one card to come, and there's a flush draw and they have a straight draw. They're saying to themselves, well, I could hit my straight, but not all my outs are clean. I could only hit 6 outs instead of 8 to hit my straight. I'm just going to fold it. Most players aren't folding the turn there, which means that their river range is much more weighted towards strong hands, like you said, and I think a fold is pretty prudent here.
Yep, I agree 100%. Now, I think it's important to note, like, if this is the 5 of diamonds, I think that heart really makes a difference. If we're looking at the 5 of diamonds, I think this is a pretty clear check call.
Yeah, that's a good time to bluff catch for sure.
Yeah. But the hearts coming in brings in too many combos, I think. So we're out of there.
Yeah, well done. And I agree with you. Good insight, and thanks for sharing. I know a lot of people will learn a lot from this one. To get more from Jaime Staples, tell us where we can find you.
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel, since we're on YouTube. We'll start there.
Yeah, we'll start on
YouTube.com/PokerStaples. And I stream 5 days a week on Twitch, twitch.tv/PokerStaples. It is Thursday through Monday, so you guys can see me there around 8 hours a day. A lot of time. So
it's grinding, man.
Yeah.
Cool updates too on your YouTube from the Dublin series. You do the vlogs, so a lot of behind the scenes insight into what it's like to be on the tour for a high stakes poker player. That's really cool. I encourage you guys to check that out as well.
Cheers, man. Thank you. And for my audience, because we're going to be uploading this on both channels, where can they find you? Is this YouTube channel the spot?
Yeah, well, I'm Alec Torelli everywhere, so it's easy. If you look on my YouTube, Alec Torelli. I don't do Twitch. Let Jamie take the crown on that one. You got some mad talent there. But Alec Torelli on YouTube. I also have a blog instead of doing Twitch. I blog regularly, not just about hand of the day and poker hands, but also about a lot of things related to poker. We have a separate show called Ask Alec where people ask me questions about all things poker, bankroll and tilt control and emotional control and those types of things. We do videos and blogs on that as well. So alectorelli.com, great place to find me, as well as YouTube and all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I'm
of course.
there.
The Snapchat hype, man.
Yeah,
Love
the Snapchat. That's fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. Well, thank you. And that's it. Great talking to you, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, Jamie.
All right. See you, Alec.